Real quick, Neil, can you tell us, because I hate to give it away, but can you tell us the secret to how you do the dome?
Well, we have this, again, it's our special effects people, so really this is a question for Jack, because he's the one who's on the set, or the actors, you know, you could ask each one of them. I think they've all, well, maybe, yeah, I think they've all touched the dome. So
I haven't.
Oh, well, you, well, soon.
She hasn't.
Soon.
You will.
Soon. So, yeah, so Jack or Rochelle, tell them, like, what it's like to touch the dome.
I want to know what you felt when you touched the dome. Go for it.
I think the dome is definitely, you got to give all the props to the special effects people who clearly are doing something really remarkable. And I love the shot where Barbie's stopping the truck and there's that slightly hazy sort of visual over the Chester's Mill versus the crisp clarity of outside, so you can kind of differentiate, and that's the kind of attention to detail that I think we are really, really proud of. I also think that as actors, we do have to do part of the work while you're doing it, because we're reacting to either we're miming, sorry to ruin it for you, but either there's nothing or there's a piece of plexiglass, so we can have, you know, a good anchor for our hands. But really, it's in our reactions, and I think it's in our faces, and it's in our physicality, and that is something that I think I can say for probably all of us. You know, we don't just do that. Everyone is imagining something. Everyone has what the dome means to them. And whatever you're thinking about, whether you're drawing on something from your character or whether, you know, for me, it's actually you know, I use something from my life that, you know, makes me sort of have that sense of being trapped. And I think the fact that we can bring that to it probably helps create and contribute to the mythology of the dome.
Personally, my face has lived under a dome for its entire adult life. Not that hard.
That was a good line.
Not that hard to figure that one out. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of go there.
That's what I'm picturing when I touch the dome.
I knew it.
Now, Natalie's the one who's gotten his. I think you're the only one who's actually, you know what?
I've made out with the dome, people. I've actually made out with the dome.
Spoiler alert. Late one night.
Mouth to mouth, got real personal, real quick.
Yeah, but in that case, we did have to put, obviously, for the two actors, so it wouldn't be a bad acting exercise in acting class. You know, they had to do the scene with actual quarter-inch
prophylactics.
Wait. But I actually had to kiss Rusty, though.
You had to kiss Rusty, which is the ultimate safe sex, as you're pointing out, Dean, right? The plexiglass. But I will say, as filmmakers, that out of Stephen King's genius head came the idea of something that was terrifying but invisible. And as Nils, myself, Neil and Brian and all of us from the beginning, and everybody on the creative team really went from A to Z in terms of how much we would see, because it's invisible. And we came back to Stephen's original concept. It's invisible. And there are hints of it here and there. But that's a bold choice, because it's scary not to see what the scary thing is.
I think we all have that kind of common scary thing about us. Like one one common fear that we all have are things that we can't see. You think about going into the ocean, you know, the depths that we've never seen before. You think about things that we don't know of. That's the one thing we're all scared of, is things that we have no control over and that we can't see, because we can't do anything about it. You know? So I think that's one of the most interesting things about it, which has something for everyone, because each and every one of us right now can put ourselves in those shoes and be like, what would we do? What if?
Mm-hmm.
Stephen's the master of what's under the bed. If you don't want to look at it.
Well, you know, when I got the idea for this thing in the 70s, and then when it popped up again, when I actually sat down to write it in the 21st century, you know, I was thinking, really, it's not much of a stretch. We all live under a dome. We understand that. We live on a little planet called Earth. In a little corner of the galaxy, and we've done a lot of things. We've sent a lot of spaceships out to see whether or not there's anybody out there that's going to say, "Oh, we're here." And so far, nothing. It's us. We've got like Brian's script says, we've dropped a car on Mars. It looks like Death Valley without a motel. And so here we are, and we have. This is what we've got. We've got about so much air. We've got about so much water. We've got so much food for so many people. We've got so much gasoline for our cars. The cars put stuff in the air, and the atmosphere warms up. And I said, all these things, okay, this is the big world. Let's make it a little tiny world, And like Angie says, I had goldfish, and one of them got sick, and the other one ate him. And let me put it this way, and I'll close. There was another try at this in the mid-'80s that was called The Cannibals. It was the same idea. So I'm curious. Yeah, that's it.
So now you know.
I'm not saying where you're going, but I'm just going to say by season 3, none of the food companies are going to be sponsors.
Hey, I'm Susan, and I'm a teacher. And one thing that we've always struggled with since I've been teaching is writing. And it's getting children to be great writers, but to still have an imagination with it. And Stephen, you're one of the greatest with imaginations. What is one thing that I could take back to my students this year to help get them motivated to write?
Well, you've got to read. You've got to find high-impact material that they want to read. And And you just have to tell them that you heard Steve King say that the readers are going to run the world, and the readers and writers are going to run the people that run the world. Just ask Big Jim Rennie.
I just want to add that the best book about writing that I've ever read is On Writing by Stephen King. So that is where I would start with your students, is give them that. And remind them not to use so many adverbs, which we remind each other every day. Stephen King taught us.
Easy on the adverbs. Go ahead, sir.
What I'd like to know from both the cast and the executive producers is how you feel this show differentiates itself from other shows of the same type, like The Walking Dead.
Well, The Walking Dead doesn't have a dome over it, does it?
Let's be real.
So we beat them already. And they have zombies, and we're all, we have her.
Aren't a lot of police like that.
We talked
in my
about,
town.
on Lost we had smoke monsters and the others, and The Walking Dead had zombies, and Falling Skies had aliens. But I think the thing that makes us different is the bad guys in our show is us. That's what we're up against, is each other. And I think that's much more terrifying than any other monster we could have come up with.
Each other's and ourselves.
Yeah.
But if ratings go down, we'll throw some zombies in, right?
Oh, yeah. And zombies, too. They come later.
Somehow, some way.
There was a mantra we thought about on Lost, which was, it's much more about the monster inside the characters than the monster in the jungle. And as filmmakers, we tried to balance both. And this is similar in those ways, in that we've got this extraordinarily inexplicable, horrifying, invisible thing that's keeping these people captive, and yet that surrounds our show. What the show's really about is how our characters react to that and who they are.
Yeah, and what's different is that from other shows is that, as you saw tonight, the town looks just the same as it did before the dome came down. And so they're struggling, though, to now deal with their internal fears and the forces and what's going to come out. And I think that to me is even scarier than any kind of monster that we could try to create.
Guys, I want to thank you for being here tonight. And I know you've been busy. You're shooting, and you got a heavy shooting schedule. So thank you for taking the time. I want to thank everybody in Wilmington for not only opening up your town, but also for coming out tonight. It's only the beginning. Here's the great part. It's not like a movie. The party's not over. This is only the beginning. The cast is fabulous. The team behind them is fabulous. Mr. King, there's things going on in his head that, make this fabulous.
Hey, I just want to say one thing. This is the best, most talented, committed cast that I've ever worked with.
Awesome.
They deserve applause down here and up here.
Stand up down here in the front. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Don't forget, Monday is Dome Day. It's Dome Day. Don't forget. Oh, no school, no work, nothing. The mayor said you can just hang. Thanks, everybody, and have a great night.